Hello everybody, welcome to TìandTarot, or welcome back to TìandTarot if you've been here before. So today's reading is all about your June predictions. There will be an opportunity at the end of the reading to ask any 3 yes or no questions pertaining to the month of June. Remember, if there are any answers you don't like, feel free to ignore them, only take what resonates. If something really sounds like it's not you and I've not predicted it right, then don't claim it, it's probably meant for somebody else. So if you're not happy with any of the fortune telling card answers later on, just remember to pop back in next month and ask your questions again, or you can head over to my shorts where I've got some fortune telling card readings where you can ask anything to get your answer. So I do just want to preface that you do have all the same cards and all the same number of cards, but I've just chosen to put different ones on the front for each. Okay, so for today's reading we have 3 piles. We have pile 1, 2 and 3. You can choose your pile based on the number of the pile or the numbers in the timestamps below, or based on the energy of the pile or the crystal or object on top, or based on the zodiacs in the timestamps below. If you do like to choose with crystals, I'll get into those with you now. I've got 2 for each pile because I was indecisive and couldn't decide, so you've got quite a few to choose from. But for pile 1 we have some green moss agate and some sea glass. For pile 2 we have some Mookite jasper and some blue goldstone. And for pile 3 we have some raw black obsidian and some black amethyst. Once you have picked your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below for you to find your reading more easily, and I will meet you there. Bye! Okay, hello pile 1, welcome to your reading. So I really like that you chose the greeny crystals today. So you've got the green moss agate and also the green sea glass. So let's take a look at your cards today. So you have Grow Together with Comfrey. You also have the World card. Love that. You've also got Spontaneity and the 5 of Cups. Love that. Let's also get some extra tarot cards down for you. For your June predictions. So you have the Moon card in reverse. You also have the 5 of Wands in reverse. You also have the Lovers. And you also have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe one more. Okay, you also have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse as well. I think someone will be really supportive and helpful for you in the month of June. And that's not to say that you're going through anything difficult right now, because I don't actually think you are. I think they're helping you to heal something from your past. Potentially a past falling out, or just feeling like there's an area of your life where that something is lacking or something is missing, and someone's going to come into your life and give you that thing you felt like you were missing. You're going to be building a future with somebody for sure. I see this month as being very successful for you straight off the bat, especially with the World card. There is cause for celebration. I also think you might be building a very strong friendship with someone, or building a strong community of friends. But I'm also getting the idea that now is not the time to be generous. I think now is the time to take care of yourself. And I feel like there is a second person involved in that that's really healing for you. And that's exactly why you're spending a lot of time with them. Because even though you're working on yourself, you're trying to heal yourself, sometimes you require somebody else to be on that journey with you. Because I am seeing like pairs and things, like I'm seeing groups of people, but I'm also seeing you maybe feeling a little bit shut out in a sense, or like you are different from somebody or a group of people you've outgrown. I think that's what I'm seeing. You've outgrown a group of people or a friend or something like that, and for that reason I think someone was maybe trying to take a lot from you maybe it wasn't their intention, but in the end they kind of, because they weren't growing with you, they became somebody who took from you while you continued to grow and up level, and therefore that meant you had a lot of resources to share. They stayed as somebody who didn't grow, so they kept taking your resources, whether they wanted to hurt you or not. You know, I think you still got hurt, and I think you've just made the very mature decision that, you know, if you're outgrowing something, you have to grow towards what's working for you. You have to keep growing towards the sun, and you're still connected to it in some way. Because when I look at this card, whatever you've outgrown, you're still connected to that thing. Because when I look at this card, this is obviously the person who has created the wealth to build that stable foundation for their family. They've left a legacy for them. And although the family, there's distance here, although the family might not know this person, you know, it could be a great-great-grandma or, you know, so on and so forth. It could be someone that they're too many generations apart from knowing. This person is the reason for everything they've got and everything to be grateful for. So even though these are two distanced groups, they're connected by the same thing. So even though you've outgrown something, you're still connected to it in a sense. It's not a bad thing. It's not like a bad thing that you've outgrown it or that they haven't continued to grow. It's just different. It's just different now. And I think you're growing towards being somebody who continues to strive for success, with the sun creeping in on the Lovers card here. I feel like something really big is about to be revealed to you. Yeah, because I'm seeing here, like, this person, there's a tower in the distance and all these cards knocked over, and then they've got two cups ready to be filled. It's like they had to leave something behind, and here this person is kind of looking back on this building again in this community. You've had to leave something behind because you've outgrown it, but that's cause for celebration. It's not a bad thing at all, and it's leading you somewhere really good, because something is about to be revealed to you this month with the Moon card that's going to be really fulfilling for you. Something that is kind of a dream come true for you a little bit. Something you've been working towards, a goal of yours that you've wanted to come true, is now manifesting for you because you've walked away and outgrown something. I see love definitely coming in for you, or at least you're loving your life. Being so much more spontaneous, having a lot more fun, celebrating when there's cause to celebrate, and also achieving a lot. Because with the World card, this is you accomplishing things. So you're accomplishing a lot, building your wealth, outgrowing patterns or behaviours or beliefs or even groups of communities that no longer align with your way of being now. You're having more fun in life and putting yourself first as well. And I do see you building up a new community, new friendships. There's lots of new growth for you on the way. So I actually want to roll some room dice for you to get some more messages. And if there's anywhere, you know, I'm thinking, you know, what the hell is that about, we'll pull some more tarot cards for you. Okay, so this rune here is called Ice. And it can be about the cold, it can be about ice, but it can also be about a forced period of pause before renewal. There is definitely an element of this is a necessary change for you in order for you to grow. There's lots of reflection going on in that 10 of Pentacles in reverse and in the 5 of Cups. There's lots of reflection. And I think you needed that time in order to recognise that this growth is a really good period for you, and that it is absolutely okay to outgrow some of the people around you. I also get the sense that you might feel a period of loneliness this month, right before a community seems to find you, your friends, your future partner potentially. Before you start to feel like your social life is picking up, there's a period of feeling a lack and feeling a want, so that it makes you seize opportunities when they come your way to have good connections with people in June. And with the Algiz rune, something I'm seeing is a lot of luck and protection on this journey. So especially because I'm seeing lots of moons as well, and to me that is luck and protection. It's like trusting in the invisible, because there's sides to the moon you don't see, and you've got quite a lot of like moony cards going on here. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of luck and protection for you for June. If you ever doubt that you're on the wrong path this month, or things, you know, aren't going the way you expected, just trust the process, because it's definitely the right one for you. You're going to be feeling very connected to your higher self this month, because this lady here is definitely your higher self. So is this one. In the sense that they're clearly in some kind of way more grown or more powerful or abundant than the people around them. And this is definitely indicating a connection there with your higher self, which the Algae's rune is definitely also seconding there. You're working towards, I think, that dream that's coming true for you. You're working towards a sanctuary of your own that can't get taken away from you or fumbled because you no longer get along with the community. Like, maybe it's who you lived with you no longer get along with. But I see you working towards building your own sanctuary, building your own foundation, building a place that's just for you, for your privacy, for your peace of mind. I see you living where you want to, in a house of your own, coming up soon. So I see you starting to lay the foundations for that, because this is also about building a legacy, and legacy of generosity as well. So I see you building a legacy in June. You're building and working towards building a lot of stability for yourself. I think this is also called the Wonjo rune. I could totally be wrong, but I think it's pronounced that way. But the Wonjo rune is about, like, you know, joy and feeling very fulfilled. So you're definitely going to be very happy this month, for sure. Especially with that wild card there. It's almost like things start finally working out for you in a way that makes you feel fulfilled after a period of feeling like you lacked or like you were empty in some kind of way. So you're feeling very fulfilled. Your well-being is on point this month. Like, you're really well taking care of yourself, not just in terms of like the things you do for yourself, but also who you decide to spend your time with, how you spend your time, what you're doing with your time, with your free time, is creating a lot of happiness for you this month. You also have the Tiwa's rune here. I'll place that one there, which can be about having to sacrifice in order for a good cause to kind of happen. Having to sacrifice for a good cause. And that's making me think of the Six of Pentacles, because with the Six of Pentacles, she is getting to a place where she has enough financial abundance to sacrifice a little bit from her own bag to help others. And it's about being generous. And then the Ten of Pentacles can also be about that generosity, because you've built a legacy that you're going to pass down to other generations, your next generations, to support them when that's not something you have to do, but you've got that generosity and that kindness and that empathy to do it. So I see you sacrificing for the greater good of your future and to be able to help others in the future. So I can see you maybe putting in quite a bit of effort when it comes to your work, your career, in order to make a lot of abundance for yourself, in order to save a lot. I see you making sort of temporary present sacrifices for the future, if that makes sense, so that you can reap those at the end of that cycle. And it's not just that, it's also you putting work into things like trying to build up a good credit score so that you can get like a mortgage on a house, something like that. But I see you putting effort in there because it's something you really want. It's a big goal of yours to be able to pass something down to others. But also I see you building a legacy of kindness and generosity. You're not only teaching your future generations or the people around you that it's important to be practical, but also that it's important to be kind and generous and gentle and empathetic. Like, I can see you teaching people how to perform good acts of kindness for others, doing things no one else will, and being brave when others are being cowardly and kind of ignoring people who need their help just because it's easier. Whereas you're the type of person who will actively take steps in June to help others, even if that's a little bit, you know, of an inconvenience for you. You don't care because you think it's important to be the change you want to see in the world and teach people these things so that you can create a legacy from everyone who learns by your example. So that's a few things that I'm seeing for you for the month of June, pile 1. I see you being very kind, and I see that kindness paying off for you and coming back to you in a cycle. You know, things don't happen in a vacuum. If you do good things for others, good things will come to you. Like, I remember this one time I was like, this is off topic, but not, because this is what I'm seeing for you. But I remember this one time I was in like the top floor of like a Waterstones, and I could see out the window, and there was like a homeless person sitting outside somewhere in the distance. and someone came up and talked to them, didn't give them any money, but was just like chit-chatting, asking how their day was and that. Then they walked off, but someone else saw them do that, so they went up to them and started talking to them, and then another person did the same thing, and then soon people started giving them money as well. And it just went to show how just learning from one person's example spread a lot of kindness to others, where they thought, you know, even if they don't have something to give monetarily, they can at least give this person a piece of humanity, you know, give them a moment to be spoken to and to have like a conversation and to feel heard and seen, which can apparently be one of the hardest parts of being homeless, is being sort of ignored and treated like you're not human almost. So to see people just learning from that one example, you know, was really admirable. It's like you might set the tone, because it's like you need that one sort of brave person, that one initiator, to then inspire other brave people who maybe weren't brave enough to make that first move. So I see you being the brave person in June, making those moves to make differences and impactful change in society, to make the changes that you want to see. That's what I'm seeing for you. Okay, so you can go ahead and ask any 3 yes or no questions pertaining to the month of June, and I will try my best to answer those for you now with these prediction cards. Hold on. So go ahead and ask question 1 now, and I will reveal the answer to you. So you have of course, but you also had negative under there. Okay, can we get a clarifying card, please? So you have yes. Okay, so that was your answer there. So go ahead and ask question 2 now. Okay. Again, you've got 2 cards. So you have not in a million years, but then you also have absolutely. What is that about? Okay. Clarifying card. Find your own answer. Okay. I'm going to get you another clarifying card, but I do think for some of you, you know how the outcome, what the outcome will be, and you don't really need a tarot reading to tell you this. On top of that, this is telling you can make the answer that you're looking for. So it's not about sitting around and waiting for this thing to happen to you. It's actually about making it happen for you. But this was your clarifying card. I think so. Okay, go ahead and ask question 3 now. Most likely. Cool. Okay, so remember that no matter what you asked in that reading, only take what resonates. If you weren't happy with any of these answers, feel free to ignore them. And if you want to have a do-over, you can pop back in next month to get next month's predictions and see if your answer changes if you ask the same questions. But also remember, these are temporary answers. They only apply based on the things that you're going to be doing in June. So remember, these can change. So if you're not happy with them, don't worry. They're not, set in stone. They're tangible. So that was your reading pole 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Okay, hello pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Mookite jasper with the blue goldstone. And these are your cards. So, firstly, you have the King of Cups. Love that. Okay. Next up, you have the 3 of Chalices in reverse. So the 3 of Cups. And you have Love's Will with Moonflower in reverse. I really like this. Okay. And then you've got Message. A message. Okay, cool. So, hold on, it's actually hard to readjust these with like a tablecloth underneath, but I'm gonna try. Let's get you some tarot cards now to go with these. So what's happening for pile 2 in June? So you have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. You have the Five of Cups in reverse. I think part 1 had that as well. You have the Lovers, but they had it in that deck. Yeah, I was getting love vibes from this pole. I was also getting love vibes from pole 1 and 3. So I think it's interesting. I think June is a month of love for you guys. You also have the Six of Wands. Okay, this is getting a bit spooky because I feel like pole 1 had this, but just in reverse. Okay, so straight away, you are up leveling so much in your love. It is crazy. Like with friendships, family, relationships. There was more of a family vibe in pole 1, but for your pole, I'm getting more of a friendship and romantic partner vibe. It's up leveling. There's definitely a sense of, with the Five of Cups in reverse, there was maybe a period in your life, or just in general, something you think about, is that you might be lacking in some of these areas. And in your friendships or in your love life, there's just a sense of lack for some reason. But because the Five of Cups is in reverse, this is turning around for you. Now that's creating a lot of abundance for you. You may also be getting a pet in June, by the way, because with the Nine of Pentacles, this is like her befriending, you know, an animal. Her getting along with something that maybe ordinarily you wouldn't, because this is quite like a rare bird. I think it's an eagle, isn't it? Yeah, it's an eagle. And I see a lot of success for you in love with these sunflowers, the pentacles, and then the suns as well. So I'm seeing a lot of success for you, but I'm also seeing with like the moon and the cloudy sort of darker imagery, I'm seeing that there is a force working behind the scenes, a powerful one, to bring you a really solid community of friends and potentially a partner as well. Because we do have the Lovers here and we have Love's Will. I'm seeing somebody message you potentially in June that could kickstart all of this off. It could be like a job offer or something that then opens up a brand new community for you, where you end up meeting new friends or that potential partner, prospective partner. It could be that a new friend or potential partner messages you first for some reason this month, but I see you getting some sort of notification, or just in general, I'm seeing a lot of loving communication or grateful communication. There's a lot of gratitude being thrown your way. People admire you and they're letting you know that. They're telling you that verbally. They're communicating with you that they really like you. You're getting a lot of praise and admiration this month. I see you being admired by lots of people. It's not just like one person. It's like for some reason everything now is like admiring you. Even like the animals just love you. Like for some reason, if there's like a cat that, you know, lives on your street or whatever, it always seems to follow you home. It just loves you so much. And like, I'm getting the vibe that people are going to love you a lot this month. They're really going to like you and they're going to appreciate you and want to tell you about it and want to hang out with you. People are going to want to be around you and fill up your cup, because I think you're kind of giving off a very loving energy. You're also giving like a very empowered, healed version of yourself. You're giving like a healed energy vibe that is making people trust you and feel comfortable around you as well. Okay, but there is cause for celebration. So I think you're also achieving and accomplishing a lot this month. So that might be why I mentioned a job thing as well. That might be why I was getting that vibe. Like you're succeeding in something which is changing the people you're around, your community, which is then bringing in new people for you. I mentioned there's a strong force working to make this happen for you. With Moonflower, Love's Will, and this lightning bolt here, there is a lot of power behind this change in your life. You're going to be feeling really emotionally fulfilled, really emotionally stable and grounded, and so full and whole, really complete this month. Lots of love cards. Okay, so let's roll some runes for you to get any more messages for your June predictions. Oh, very different runes from pile 1. So first off, you've got the Ophala rune, which I'll place here. Actually, I'm going to put it here, I think. You've got the Ophala rune. And this is about a lot of wisdom and inherited talents, ancestral energy as well, which is really interesting. If you were drawn to pile 1, definitely head over there. But there's something like you're kind of coming home to yourself. That's what I'm seeing, like you're coming home to your true version of who you are. You're embracing your higher self. You're embracing the version of yourself you were meant to be. It's time this month, it's time for you to inherit some sort of wisdom, to learn some sort of big family lesson, a big like spiritual lesson with the lightning bolt here. You're getting like a wake-up call where this person's sort of being sad and feeling empty. You're getting a wake-up call to these 2 cups that are open and ready to receive love, and all this love is just going to come pouring in. You've also got the Jera rune, which can be about harvesting, which is interesting because we've got, you know, the 9 of Pentacles here. Harvesting and, you know, cycles, rewards for past efforts as well. And I am seeing calls for celebration. It's about reaping what you've sown. All the effort you've put into some projects that you have, or into rebuilding yourself or building connections with others, it's finally paying off this month. There's something you've been putting a lot of effort into to build it from the ground up, and you're reaping that reward this month, whatever that is. So it could be like you've been applying to like hundreds of jobs and finally you're getting an interview to one, or you know, it's something like that. There's something you've been putting a lot of effort into and it's paying off for you. You also have the Sawillow rune. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I could be wrong. But the Sawillow rune is essentially the sun. It's like the sun card of the runes. So this is about spiritual power and enlightenment, which is very much giving the energy of this card as well. It's also about success and personal growth and development. Yeah, you need to check out pile 1 for sure. But there is a lot of personal growth and development for you for this month, and that's leading you down a path of success. There's a lot of reasons to celebrate this month because you're accomplishing your goals. Whatever your ambitions are, you're putting a lot of effort towards them and it is paying off for you. Like, there are so many rewards coming in this month for you in so many different avenues. But you're tapping into something so much more powerful because of all of these accomplishments. You're tapping into like your higher self. Like, you're tapping into a really powerful energy this month. You also have the Manners rune, which is about humanity, your divine potential. So again, we're getting that really strong energy of you tapping into some sort of really big natural power. It's also about developing your talents. So again, we were getting personal growth here, but developing talents here. You're really working on yourself this month. You're really healing all aspects of yourself. You're a well-rounded person. You know, you're multifaceted with all these different sides to you, and you're working on all of them. You're finding balance and harmony between your darker sides where maybe you feel very sad or, you know, maybe isolated or alone, and then the other sides of you where you feel really healed and really happy. You're working on all those sides of yourself. You're embracing them. Instead of trying to think of sadness or moments of strife as something to overcome, you're realizing it's something to embrace, that no emotion is actually truly negative and you should be allowed to express all of them in a healthy way, of course, but express all of them and feel them and sit in those feelings and then flow with it. Like, you're recognizing that and you're working through and with your emotions this month. It's interesting that humanity is kind of coming up for you though in the Manners rune, because again, so many connections to pile 1, but I can see you being quite empathetic and generous because she's befriending something most people wouldn't, which is something I kind of touched on earlier but didn't really get into. But she's befriending something that most people would dismiss. You know, people don't think animals are as important or as worthy as being entitled to their life as humans are and enjoying their life and living it. So I see you being very generous this month with people or animals that are kind of overlooked in society and dismissed, and you're putting in the effort to be the change you want to see in the world and treat people with kindness and empathy so that you can inspire others to do the same. So I kind of mentioned in part 1 how one initial change can have a ripple effect through society. It just takes that one bit of change, that one initial change, to convince other people to do the same. there needs to be that person who has the bravery of an initiator to help guide the other people who want to do the same but maybe need that initiator to realise it. So I see you doing things that will inspire kindness in others as well for the month of June. Okay, I did not expect that to be so similar to pole 1, but hey ho, that's what came out. So we're now at that point in the reading where you can ask any 3 yes or no questions pertaining to the month of June. Go ahead and ask your first question now, and I will try my best to answer that for you with these cards. So you have I think so. Go ahead and ask your second question now. You have most likely. And go ahead and ask your third question now. You have you bet. Great, so I do just want to remind you, whatever answers you got here, please don't take them personally. You know, if you weren't happy with any of them, just bear in mind that other people will be watching this pile too, and some of these might be for them and some of these might be for you. And if you didn't like any of these questions, you can always pop back in next month, because we ask these every time in our monthly predictions. So you can always pop back in, ask the same questions and see if something's changed for you, because these answers are temporary to June. They're only relevant to June. So things might change for you by July depending on the actions you took in June. So yeah, if you know you're not happy with anything, bear in mind they're temporary and it will change anyway next month. So feel free to pop in and check those out. Or I have some shorts where I just answer your questions using these prediction cards. So you can just pop on there and look at one of those if you'd prefer. But that was your reading pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Okay, hello pile 3, welcome to your reading. So you chose the black amethyst and you also chose the raw black obsidian crystal. So let's get into your cards. So firstly, you have the star card. Ooh, okay. Dreams are coming true for you this month, for sure. You've got the page of stakes in reverse. You have open hearts with rose. And you have play. Okay, so let's get you some tarot cards. Let's shimmy these up a little bit. Oh, you have the strength card in reverse. You also have the devil card in reverse. You also have temperance in reverse. These are very big energies. And the 9 of cups in reverse. And the 10 of swords in reverse. In the month of June, you are being so much kinder to yourself with open hearts there. I'm seeing that with the page of stakes, there's something you're kind of trying to be a perfectionist at, that maybe you were beating yourself up about. Maybe it's something you were struggling to overcome, like a bad habit of yours, and you're annoyed at yourself that it's like taking time, or that you have to continually put effort in, or that sometimes you backtrack and take 3 steps back. But you've recognised, yes, you need to be firm in your ambition towards what it is you want, but a part of strength is also kindness. And there's a balance to everything. So you're recognizing that you need to be so much more kind and understanding of yourself for the month of June when it comes to reaching your goals and overcoming obstacles, instead of feeling like it's a you problem and feeling bad about it when you fail, or feeling really anxious about the future. Instead, you're taking so much more of a playful approach to June, being so much kinder to yourself and recognizing that if you really want to change, you'll embrace who you are in the present moment and be really kind to yourself and really patient and gentle with yourself in order to get to the person you want to be. You're being so much more loving, filling up all of your cups, being multifaceted in terms of the way that you pour into yourself and pour love back into yourself. I see you being so much better at being kind to yourself that you actually start to improve in these habits of yours, that, or these goals that you have that you kind of want to reach. these habits you want to get over, these goals you want to reach, the things you want to change about yourself, it's finally working because you've decided to embrace that you are a person who has many different sides to them, and you should be able to accept those. So when I mention that, what I'm kind of talking about is like, you know how in society, if like you're sad, people are always like, okay, here's how you get rid of that, here's how you work around that, here's how you, and it's like, no, sometimes we have to acknowledge and recognize the fact that like no emotion is truly bad. It's only deemed bad depending on how you express that emotion. Of course, if you take out your hurt or your anger on others, that is not a healthy or good way to deal with those emotions. But at the same time, is sadness or anger or any of those feelings negative in and of itself? No. You should be able to sit there and feel those and interrogate why you feel that way, and just feel it sometimes. Just sit there and cry if you want to cry, but don't be trying to finish your crying as quick as possible. Just let it happen, you know, and then move on. After it's happened, you'll feel so much better. Or you can sit there and wonder, you know, why this affects you and what it is about this situation that triggered you, and work through those feelings. It's not about trying to hold it in and like get over it as quick as possible, because then you're denying one half of yourself and you're not like a truly balanced person. So I'm seeing you working on balancing yourself and being really kind to yourself so that you can accept yourself for who you are right now in this moment. Like, yeah, you're an anxious warrior, but you're also a really balanced, peaceful person as well. There are two sides to yourself that you're working with, not on. Instead of taking things so seriously and feeling the weight of everything, you're deciding to free yourself by accepting those facts about yourself. You're deciding to be so much more playful, so much more happy. Instead of holding you to this really impossible standard of perfectionism, you're accepting that you're a person and that you literally can't be perfect. So that makes you perfect when you finally realise that, you know. So stop holding yourself to this standard of perfection. I'm also seeing, because I'm seeing like a little letter in this background, and then I'm seeing the open hearts with rose, and roses particularly have a romantic connotation. So I am seeing communication in love for you this month. I'm seeing potentially someone reaching out to you in a romantic sense. But just in general, it could be that you receive a lot of admiration, a lot of verbal appreciation from people for something that you're doing or a way that you're being this month. I also do see with the Star card that you are putting efforts into achieving a dream of yours, and it's going to start manifesting for you in a massive way in June, which is really lovely. How is that manifesting for you? You have the Hierophant. Okay. So the way that that's manifesting for you is by being really rational and thoughtful about the actions that you're going to take, and sticking to the rules, not trying to find any shortcuts, but just weighing out possible outcomes and trying to come to the best conclusion of what's right for you. And also sticking to the path best travelled or well travelled, you know, instead of taking more unique or I suppose more obscure routes towards what it is you want. You're taking a very traditional path towards what it is you want, instead of trying to find a shortcut there. You're learning from what others have done in the past, which is giving the vibe of like a mentor might be helping you this month to achieve your dreams and guiding you on what's best to do. There's someone you're learning from, I think, or something you're learning from, like a resource. Okay, so now I want to ask the runes if there's any more updates for you for June that you need to know about. Okay, so you got the Ice rune, which also pile 1 had, so you might want to check that out. But that can be multiple things, but mostly it's kind of about a forced period of pause before renewal. I'm getting 2 messages from that, so definitely I think this is a long journey to get your dream come true. You're like taking the long route, you're taking a long path, so it's almost like it feels like you're not moving, but you are. So just trust that if it feels like you're not going anywhere, you definitely have made progress, and if you reflect back on all the actions you've taken up until that point, you'll see it. But I also think it's about how sometimes we can take steps back when it comes to goals that we have in terms of getting over like toxic habits or addictions or ways of being. Sometimes we can take steps back and that feels really redundant and like you've almost not accomplished anything, but you actually have accomplished something, because you've taught yourself once again that you can pause at least for a significant period of time, and each time you do that, that period gets longer and longer and longer. and you're actually building up essentially like muscle memory on how to avoid this toxic thing. But trust that there will be a period of renewal where you'll try again, and it will be better and stronger this time because of the efforts you've done in trying to resolve this behaviour. You also have Kenaz, I think that's how you pronounce that rune, but this is about a torch or a light of some kind, which I think is so interesting that it came out with these cards here. There's a light here, but there's a torch here. She's holding a torch, it's taking her out of that dark place. It's helping to lead her out of the things that had her trapped before. So I can see you overcoming and working to overcome certain old patterns of behaviours that no longer work for you, and putting a lot of control into that and putting a lot of effort into it, but in a very light-hearted way so that you don't burn out, basically. But there's a lot of energy and passion behind you trying to accomplish your goals and achieve your dreams. You're in a really transformative period of your life for June. There are lots of transformations happening this month, so pay attention to that. You also have the Jera rune. I think poll 1 or 2 had this, but I'm getting so many vibes across all the way. If you were drawn to like pile 1 or 2, honestly check them out, because there are a lot of similarities going on here. But this is about harvesting and cycles and getting a reward for past efforts as well, like reaping what you've sown. So I'm definitely getting that energy of there will be accomplishment this month. There are achievements. You are reaping rewards for things that you are doing, for the efforts you're putting in, for taking the long road, for the trusted path, the trusted road. Things will pay off for you this month. And then you also have the Ingwaz rune, which can be about completing something. It can be about completion. You've completed a cycle in something, and there's a valuable lesson to learn from that, and you're going to hit a period of pause and then renewal. So you have reached the conclusion of something, and I think it is worth celebrating, despite the fact that you have these perfectionist tendencies and you don't really want to celebrate your achievements because you feel like it's not big enough or it's too small and it's not the end goal. But it's definitely worth celebrating, and so I can see you being more kind to yourself this month and actually taking a step to celebrate that. I also see you creating something this month. You're putting a lot of creative energy into your pursuits, into the things that you want. You're being very creative this month. I also see you being quite determined and headstrong and a bit of a leader this month as well, especially with these like ram horns here. I can see you taking charge of something, potentially taking charge of the efforts you're putting towards achieving your goals. Taking back control of your life so that instead of being ruled by these bad habits and these behaviours that keep holding you back, you're ruled by balance instead. You're ruled by yourself and your strength. Okay, so now we're at the part of the reading where you can ask any 3 yes or no questions pertaining to the month of June, and I will try my best to answer those for you using these cards. So go ahead and ask question 1 now, and I will reveal the answer to you. What do you think? Whatever you thought when I just said that is probably your answer, but I will pull you another card to clarify. Weather permitting. So long as you've put all the effort in and all the ducks are in a row and the timing's right, then yes. But if not, then no. Okay, go ahead and ask your second question now. I'll tell you later. Okay, so it's not the right time for you to have the answer for that one. You might want to check back in next month. Okay, last question. Under no circumstances. Okay, so I do just want to say, whatever answers you got in this reading, just remember they're temporary to the month of June. So you can pop back in next month to get your July predictions and ask the same questions and see if they've changed. Or you can check out my shorts where I just use some of these cards to answer your questions as well, to get an answer there if you weren't happy with these. But also remember to only take what resonates, you know. It won't just be you watching this pile or who has picked this pile. So bear in mind that some of these answers aren't meant for you and might be meant for other people watching the reading. So only take what resonates. And if it doesn't resonate, if it's not vibing, feel free to pick another pile. But yeah, that was your reading pile 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye.